Watcher, it's me again. No green screen today, got it packed away. I was using it for something earlier that I won't bore you with, but I've got a few stories to talk about, and quelle surprise, they're not all about the TV licence fee for once. I thought we could have a look at a few different things that I've been talking about personally, but there's one that popped up this morning. I was up early this morning, which is rare for me. So I had YouTube on and I was flicking through some news clips and I saw this, and this is an illustration of why they always say the BBC is the most trusted news network. The BBC is the most quality news network. When something happens in the world, people turn to BBC News for the quality of their coverage. So I thought we could watch this together as an example of the quality of BBC News' coverage of current events. Have a look.
Find business records to cover it up.
Netta, that
Guilty on count 2, Sumi.
Yeah.
Guilty on count 3. Let's remember.
That just stopped me in my tracks. I can hear the cheering. Tell us what's happening.
There is an eruption from the... Well, throughout this trial, we have had groups of protesters across from the courthouse in the public park.
Just to remind you, this is the world's most trusted, most high-quality news network in the world that you're watching, where she's reading from her personal iPhone with her debit cards on showed and not even looking at the camera. Shall we continue?
There have been a well-known number of Donald Trump's harshest critics who have held up signs saying, "Convict Donald Trump," signs saying that Donald Trump needs to be held accountable. So some celebrations. And I'll just ask if my cameraman is able to spin the camera to look at what is happening here, because, of course, there is Roger Stone has just turned up, Sumi.
Okay.
I don't know if you could see that in the pictures, but...
She may not actually be a BBC employee, the one reporting. It might be syndicated news. But it's unwatchable. It's unwatchable, isn't it? And the presenter is no better, as we'll see. It's just shocking quality. I know that Talk TV and GB News aren't exactly the bastion of high quality themselves, but that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
11%
I hear that
were
we're
all
getting
falsified.
News that
And
it's
so
all
really,
34 counts. I think we're getting that news from our...
He's guilty on all counts.
Yeah. Take us through this.
So there was a little bit of a delay because we got it from our...
So soon.
She was trying to take you through it, love, until you interrupted her, and then she started pissing about on her phone again. Some major, major news, and that's the best the BBC could muster. I can't say I've seen coverage from anyone else, but it's fucking embarrassment. It's embarrassing, isn't it? They want a licence fee for that. Okay, anyway, a couple of other ones that I dug out to talk about, just to make a change, really, because this one struck with me a little bit. I don't know if you saw this. It was doing the rounds. It was in all the red tops. Did you see it? Look. I watched Only Fools and Horses for the first time. It's borderline homophobic and racist, so I switched off. All right, snowflake. Why everything's offensive now then? The greatest sitcom of all time is now offensive. Like they took away Little Britain, which I wasn't that keen on, but I understand people were. Now they're going to try and take away Del Boy because he called someone a puff once in one of the episodes. I would imagine, not read this story. I saved it so we could read it together. Only Fools and Horses is apparently the greatest sitcom of all time. Not apparently, it is. But after watching it for the first time, I'd say it's the worst. I'd say you're the worst. As for why the show that spawned 10 series and 16 Christmas specials has amassed a royal legion of fans, I have no idea. Because some people have a sense of humour and are not offended by every little thing that goes on in the world. A joke is a joke, and Only Fools and Horses is funny, full stop. You see, despite my family members spending hours on the sofa right glued to the show, I've never ever watched a minute of it, because you have no sense of humour, whoever you are. Joe Crutchley, showbiz and TV reporter. Right, so he's a showbiz and TV reporter, and he's never watched Only Fools and Horses. Boggles the mind. Let's click his name and see what he has been talking about Joey graduated in 2019 with a degree in multimedia journalism, and he's always had a passion for all things showbiz and music, apart from sitcoms that have been around for donkey's years and that everyone in the world has watched. But he likes to talk about Hollyoaks and Britain's Got Talent and EastEnders, Loose Women, Strictly, EastEnders, Britain's Got Talent. Okay, Love Island, and that's TV. Is it? Because what you're doing is reviewing the worst TV of all time, Joe, and saying you hate the best TV of all time. Okay. But he's a journalist. So in the name of good journalism, I thought, why not sit down and watch it? Armed with a cup of tea, maybe try something stronger. It might help you relax, Joe. I loaded up the first ever episode. All right, fair play, series 1, bit weak. All right. You could have gone in better than that. Series 1's not the best. After watching a black man on the TV, the granddad character is unable to pronounce his name correctly. What's more, after bickering with Rodney, it's then revealed that it turns out to be another black man they are discussing. And vile comments keep on coming. After being served by a barmaid, Del Boy dubs her an old dog. That's not funny. No? Okay, Joe. All right, Joe. No sense of humour for Joe. Woke comedy's the best kind of comedy, isn't it? I've watched some woke comedy. It's not funny. Rodney describes a woman as some Chinese tart. It gets a lot worse than that, Joe. While Del Boy adds Chinese, Japanese, it's all the same to me. I sort of get that it was a different time. Makes no difference. Funny's funny. Why not make a joke about Rodney's hair or Del Boy's short stature, or why do jokes have to be at the expense of a minority? They make jokes about everybody, Joe. No one's off limits there. Rodney's permanently ripped on. So is Del. So is Boise. All white, middle-aged men. Denzel doesn't get as much grief as the others. In uncomfortable scenes, a hospital-bound Del Boy shares his fears that he never says at no point in that episode, because I know it very well, did he say he might have AIDS. He said he might have something. And Rodney just goes, what, that? And Del goes, yeah. At no point were the words AIDS said from his gay hairdresser. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to stop reading it, because I think me and Joe, I don't think we're going to see eye to eye on this one. So he's watched 2 episodes. Okay, let's have a look at some of the comments on here. Get a grip, hilarious show, I miss it. So you base a view of a whole series on the very first episodes, like comparing your journalism with your very first piece, or any of his pieces, as long as you don't like Hollyoaks, or Britain's Got Talent, or Love Island, that is, which goes to show the kind of things Joe generally watches. You need to watch Till Death Do Us Part. Sickness and I can't wait for next week in the Daily Star to see that this Joe has watched In Sickness and in Health, and Alf Garnett has triggered him somewhat. Right, what else did I have to talk about on here? Bloke discovers wife is a man 12 days after wedding as she avoided sex with simple excuse. Now, I'm an old-fashioned kind of gentleman, and the no sex before marriage thing, I get it. Not for me. It's not for me. But I get it. I mean, I wouldn't go and buy a car without taking it round the block, let's put it like that. But in some faiths or some people, they believe in this sort of thing, that's fine. So this is a Muslim gentleman, I believe, and he was from Java, was it? And it's quite interesting. The 26-year-old, who's been named as AK, had been dating Adinda Kanza, for also 26, for a year after meeting on Instagram and hitting it off. Perfectly valid way to meet people in this day and age. After tying the knot on April the 12th, AK grew suspicious of his wife as she avoided intimacy by telling him she was on her period or feeling unwell. When they met up in person while dating, Adinda had worn a traditional Muslim niqab that covered her entire face, which AK took as a sign of a devotion to Islam. While they got married at a small ceremony in religion, it was Java, she also continued wearing the niqab at home and told him she no longer had any family, blah, blah, blah. He tracked them down, found out It's a bloke. Could happen to any of us, really, isn't it? That is an advert for sex before marriage, right? That could happen to any of us. It could happen. I am very active currently on several online dating apps. And, you know, I'm looking for a female. I've specified that I'm only looking for a female to the apps. And some of the people I'm offered are not fully female, which is fine for many other people. It's not personally what I'm looking for. And it's going to be a bigger problem going forward, I think. But yeah, test drive your car next time, AK. And then just this other one, just to finish off, it's not really an interesting one, but I was a Virgin flight attendant. Celebs are terrible and certain routes need booze ban. A former flight attendant for Virgin Atlantic. As soon as I saw that, I was like, right, so she's advertising her OnlyFans. Is she? But I skimmed it, and no, I didn't skim it well enough. Look, the former flight attendant who ditched a job for a much racier career, if we click that link. I quit Virgin Atlantic for being naked on TV. There's one thing I hate. There we go. So it is just a story. That you see a lot of this in the Daily Star. The Daily Star is a big one for this. Anytime you see some sensationalist story by a female in the Daily Star, it's an advert for her OnlyFans account. But she said that the worst route was Las Vegas on a Thursday. Yeah, I believe it. Because whenever I fly to Las Vegas, it's with Virgin Atlantic Direct, and usually on a Thursday. And yeah, we're all pissed. Because it's free alcohol. We're all pissed. But I'm not trouble when I'm pissed. But yeah, everyone is hammered on it. But it could be worse, love. You could be on the Ryanair to Ibiza on a Friday afternoon. Imagine that one. Still got 3 or 4 TV license ones bookmarked here to talk about. Well, I won't do them now because I've dragged on for ages. I just wanted just to do a normal, just chatting about one, just because it's the end of the month and it's a Friday, and I'm going to go a good driving range in a minute, hit a few balls and have a couple of beers with me mates as it's Friday night. So I hope you have a nice weekend. I might do another couple of videos walking about this weekend. I might even walk about the golf course with you if the weather's nice enough. Hey, let me know what you think of these. The Only Fools and Horses one has got my back up a bit, I must admit. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Hit all the buttons and everything as well, because if you do that, hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.